Atlantic City. It's more than casinos. It's more than a roll of the dice, a flip of the cards, or the resultant suspense and elation. It's 4 miles of boardwalk along one of America's most beautiful beaches. And if, on a summer day, you take a stroll along the beach, between the silence and the fury, the quiet dunes and the crashing waves, you'll find what you might not have expected. Sand sculptures. Not the kind thrown together with a plastic pail and shovel, but the best in the world, as seen at 2014's DoAC Sand Sculpting World Cup.
One of the beautiful beaches of Atlantic City, New Jersey, kicking off summer 2014. In a few minutes, we'll be opening up the art competition, sculpture competition. We have 20 artists from around the world that'll be competing. They'll be creating wonderful works of art, some 14 foot high. Last year, 120,000 people came to see it. We expect crowds of over 200,000 over the next 2 weeks. I think that artwork will last another month or so.
To put together this event, there was a lot of work. Almost 1 year of preparation. We had to select the sculptures. It was a very, very difficult selection.
My name is Dan Belcher. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri.
I'm Mark Anderson. I'm from Weymouth in Dorset in the south of England.
And I'm from Yeovil in Somerset in the south of England also.
Hi, my name is Bruce Phillips. I'm from San Diego, California, born and raised.
I am 𝗬𝗃𝗲 and I come from Italy.
I'm Matt Long, professional sand sculptor.
I'm Kevin Crawford. I'm from Perth, Australia.
Everybody that's in this competition is really high level, and they'll really bring their A game.
When I saw all the list of carvers that they applied for this, it was like, wow, this is gonna be tough.
This is my first time here, and I'm really looking forward to it because the sand is awesome, the location is great, and the competitors, while being all friendly, there's a nice little rivalry going. We've all known each other for a long time. There's a lot of respect. You might not notice that from the smack talk that goes around, but that's all a sign of respect for each other. And I'm excited to see what everyone's going to make.
It's going to be a great competition, great prize money, a really excellent body of people here. They're the best in the world.
The format really works here as a competition. In a very short period of time, you got 30 fantastic pieces out there. There's no other way you would achieve that. It really works.
Maybe another day.
Creating a work of art in 30 hours, did Picasso have that? Did Rembrandt have that? Did any artists that you can think of ever have a limitation? No, you might start something, come back to it, take a little time off.
Getting a feel for it. This stuff we're using is a mixture of what they used last year. So seems nice. It's got a nice fine texture. It's got a nice color. Should be nice carving sand.
Collaborating on the demo piece is always a lot of fun because it's kind of like an old dysfunctional family.
I've taught him everything he knows, basically. He's starting to get the hang of it.
Yeah. We haven't seen each other in a long time, and the smack talk gets pretty heavy. There's a lot of wit going on, so it's really fun. We just sit up there and carve and give each other grief and tell each other how bad it is.
It's supposed to be a pizza box, okay? Atlantic City, you don't need that.
Okay.
But it's supposed to be a pizza box.
Can I lose the Tony Baloney's too? And
no, that's pretty
just do the face?
Though you might think the art of sculpting sand for profit began in some ancient desert, it actually started here in Atlantic City in 1897, when an enterprising Philip McCord gained attention and many coins tossed in his upturned hat from spectators on the boardwalk applauding his depiction of a drowned mother and child. McCord kept his creation damp and malleable by hauling ocean water to it with a pony-drawn cart. As other artists sought fame and money, ocean themes prevailed. Mermaids, King Neptune, sailing ships, and monstrous denizens of the briny deep.
Philip McCord, dressed in a derby, a tie, shoes, and a suit, was carving his sand next to the boardwalk. And I wish I was there when that first dime hit the sand, okay? I call it the first dime tossed. And when that dime hit that sand, this was the birth of professional sand sculpting.
Almost a century later, Atlantic City native John Gowdy began gaining recognition for his sand sculpting ability. His reputation is now worldwide due to his victories in international competition. As manager of the 2014 World Cup, he chose the competitors, 2 women and 18 men from the United States, Canada, Australia, Russia, India, Singapore, Great Britain, Mexico, Italy, and the Netherlands.
70 years ago, in 1944, the city passed an ordinance that makes it illegal to have sand sculpting on the beach.
It got outlawed in 1944. The sculptors were getting out of hand. They were maybe too aggressive for asking for tips, hawking, if you will.
That ordinance was never repealed. Luckily, John did me a favor and brought the ordinance down and created a sand sculpture of that particular ordinance. And in a few years, I'm going to use my powers as mayor to veto the ordinance so that we can have this wonderful sand sculpture return to the beaches of Atlantic City, New Jersey.
2, 3.
Good luck, sir. Have a good one.
Finish strong second after me.
Well, or maybe tied for 11th.
Had a couple espressos this morning, so I'm ready to go. I actually started putting together forms on the wrong pile, so dragging my stuff back to where I should be here.
I have a super huge pile, huh?
I have already solid.
Are you confused, David?
Yeah.
What's happening here?
I don't have enough sun.
No?
Slowly start, but Russians always have special technique. Slowly start, but quick finishing,
Most of these guys are lightweights and they've done really small forms. It's proper form.
It's my exercise.
I like to try to be the tallest one. This is it, the moment of truth. My wife thinks I'm on holiday.
Start work after lunch.
It's a challenge and a test of your endurance to do this. It's not easy.
3 words: knees, knuckles, and back.
Here we go again. Something I'm going to kill myself on. My knees are going to hurt. I'm going to have aches and pains, but I'm loving it and I can't stop. I tend to gather energy if the sculpture is going well. It brings you to life quite a bit.
So far, so good. I'm just about to where I thought I should be by about 10 o'clock this morning. What time is it? Oh, in that case, I'm hopelessly behind. People have the misperception pretty much universally that it takes a lot of patience to be a sand sculptor. In fact, it's just the opposite. Sand sculpting goes faster than pretty much any other 3D medium.
The misinterpretation is we're just playing in the sand. Sand artists are just playing in the sand, but there's so much effort that goes into creating our works of art, especially in the contest format,
Don't call it dirt.
You know, it's the engineering, it's the collaboration, the communication, it's also philosophy. I mean, you get into the whole thing of, is it worth it, and why do you do it? And then you get into the whole thing of, well, what is worth it? You know, what is life all about anyway?
Your possibilities are limitless, so trying to limit to what not only do you want to carve, but what do you want to convey to the public, and what do you want to draw out within yourself?
Well, every sculptor has their favorite tool. This is mine. It's a cake icing tool with the round part cut off. It's 3/4 of an inch wide. It's stainless steel, so it doesn't rust, and it has, most importantly, this bend in it.
So one of my favorite is this one, and I use it so much that then this is how it became, but it was like that.
Knee pads, very important.
It's a mason tool, but it's been used for so long that this is a new one, but if you hold them together, you can see how worn down it is. That's just from carving sand.
Marshalltown, some of the best, made in Iowa. Good old Iowa steel, American steel.
Anything, things that you can buy at a hardware store or kitchen utensils.
This one's called 𝗘𝗃𝗲. This is a 10x3 pool trowel. This is one of my favorites for anything large or flat. This is the one.
These are Can You Dig It sand tools, and these are my two favorites out of the kit. It's a kit of 6 tools.
Most all sculptors use a straw of some kind to blow away sand from the detail area where you're carving. If you don't want to brush it or get your finger in there, you blow it out and it goes away.
And water. Water, water, water. It's all about water. You got to have a good sprayer all the time.
It's a blowout. You don't want those. They're a pain in the neck.
Sand sculptures require damp sand. That's because damp sand sticks together, the water acting as a bridge between each grain. The surface tension of these bridges provides strength. Pounding the damp sand with a mallet, putting it under pressure, results in greater strength. But as the moisture evaporates, the sculpture weakens.
Wait, so what happens if it rains? It doesn't wash it away?
At the end of the day, everybody sprays the sculpture, the finished work,
right,
with Elmer's glue, sort of woodworking glue,
okay,
which just seals the surface.
People hear the word glue and they say, this is how they stand up. If you think the paint on your house holds your house up, this is exactly what the glue does to the sand sculptures. The glue just protects it from the wind and the rain. Very biodegradable, it breaks down after a little while.
Once you glue it, you're done. You can't go back tomorrow on those areas. So last few minutes of the day is get ready to glue.
And there we go.
Quitting time.
The first day is always a test. You're trying to move sand away and then compact it into your forms, and you always give yourself a little bit of slack, what we call the compaction day or pound up day. The next day is the big one.
Let's do that. Adding a bit more.
The preparation of sand is very important, and I think some people might rush it a little bit. They might not add enough water, they might not give it a chance to settle.
You know, you got to push it with this crowd, and I just got a little ambitious.
I was working, so I didn't really pay attention. I didn't see the collapse, but I heard him saying, "Oh, I lost it all," and I was like, "What?" And then I look at the monkey, and they were not there, and it was like, "Oh."
A lot of places I was really going in deep, looking for an edge, and it didn't work.
And if you've had a car accident, you know the sound of crunching metal? Well, if you've had a collapse, you know the sound of sand coming down in mass.
I'm nearly 2 days down and just starting, so I'm way behind the 8 ball here.
That's what I'm worried about, is maybe my base
is going to be too soft to support it. But you don't.
But I've got this, right? So,
yeah.
So
and you're a lot smaller
yeah.
center load. Mine was kind of funky, so I hope.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're going to be fine.
Okay.
It looks good.
Thanks.
Pete's one of the oldest in the field, and he shifts some sand.
Yeah, he was probably the quickest at putting that up. I don't know how he did it.
This one's all wonky. I'm surprised he's standing up there. See how it does when he pulls the bottom ones out. Because it's like, see how it's like this way. I think it will.
You know, sand's not supposed to do what we do with it. It's supposed to be there under your feet when you walk to the beach, dry, powdery, blow in your eyes. It's It's not supposed to stand 10 feet high in the air.
For sculptor grade sand, high quality sculptor grade sand, you need what's called angular sand. It's river sand or fresh sand that hasn't been rounded by the ocean waves. More importantly is that there's a very small percentage of silt. I think it's about 3%. I tested it myself. When you got angular sand and a little bit of silt and you squeeze it and compress it, this is what locks the sand together. And this is why we can make these things big and beautiful.
Much of the world's sand has its origins millions of years ago, when, deep underground, lava cooled, forming granite. Inside the granite were small crystals of quartz, comprised of two of Earth's most common elements, silicon and oxygen. After the granite was forced to the Earth's surface, it weathered away, exposing the quartz crystals, which floated down rivers to the oceans, then spread along the coast, forming the beaches we enjoy today.
You find out when you take your last form off. But when I just took this one off, like it's like a rock. So that's a good sign.
When I saw the pound up he did, it was very fast, very tall. I was like, wow, I would say maybe it's dangerous. I don't know how well compacted it is, but it was really steep.
Peters just went to the sky with his castle. It's dangerous.
Yesterday morning, 9:30, I was taking the bottom form off. I sort of had an indication because there were some cracks up here, and then once you took that off, the pressure was too much. Like I really had too small a base for what I had for height. You'll learn these things. Next year I won't do that.
My piece for this contest is called Sea of Heartbreak.
He's making a broken heart. He's making a piece about a broken heart. The piece is gonna crack in half. It's gonna. I've made 3 of them. All 3 of them collapsed. The heart actually breaks in half and collapses. That's just, yeah, real funny.
What's going on, Bruce?
Well, it's cracked 3 times, so this is the last form that I just pulled. A little preparation for maybe it falling. Yeah, see, it's right here. It's just starting to.
Looking at 13 minutes, sculptors, 13 minutes to a cold, refreshing drink in the tent.
When it's so good, people are like, oh, I can't believe it. It's going to be gone tomorrow. Then you got him. You got him good.
We like the snail. Wait, what was it called? The
Backbone of Life. Backbone of Life.
That was pretty amazing.
That's amazing.
Always excited to see what Joby does. His technical ability is phenomenal, and his ideas are just intriguing and very organic.
Joby is winning a lot these days. He's riding that wave. He's got like an abstract style and such an accurate hand of sharp, crisp shadows. The judges and the people love it.
There's no doubt that if you go and check Richard's tip bucket, it's nearly full because he's doing a sandcastle. That's what people love. Nobody knows what this is yet. Early days. Give it time.
Well, Rich Varano's castles are just magnificent. I mean, he is the king of the castle. You might call him a one-trick pony, but it's a hell of a trick.
A castle this size, I'd really like about 7 days to do a really fine piece. So I just adjust as I go, knowing what I have to work with when I go in, to make a piece that I can finish well enough for me in the given amount of time.
I finally finished the inside of the gallery. So my piece is the giant eyeball. It's about perception of beauty. To represent beauty, I'm using art because everyone has a different idea of what art is and what's beautiful in art. So I put some different pieces in there, and they're like this big. They're really teeny weeny. So I import them. I'll make them on the side right in front of me where I have room. I'll cut them out and stick my tool underneath and then put it inside and slip it out and carefully back away. And hopefully they stay. Smoothing out the last final crumbs. And I must back away slowly. I must stop myself. That's my gallery. It's beautiful.
just do my best, and I want to bring out what my sculpture is trying to show. And I'm trying to show strength and power in my sculpture.
I'll have it somewhere. I don't know where I'll be. Hopefully it'll be where I want it to be. But there's always things I wish I would have had time to put in or put more focus into, but that's the way it is with every contest.
Just got a bit of detailing to do, a bit of head work, and then a leaf at the bottom. So I've got my work cut out.
I just lost my my main tower, then it kind of fell on everything else, and pretty much wiped out my whole sculpture. And I was all done, and my whole front was all finished as well.
Plot number 3, done by Matt Long from Staten Island, New York. An American.
An American.
His title is Musical Abstraction. And in Matt's word, his describing it is music is everything.
This is clean, perfect finish all the way to the floor. I am very proud of that fact.
Down to the last couple hours, crunch time.
I'm just finishing off the plinth here. Then I've got to do something with this pile, just rake it, make it tidy.
Scrambling. But it's okay, it's going to be finished enough, I think.
Given up on mad scrambles. Well, until 10 minutes to go, and then is it 10 minutes to go yet?
Didn't you just hear John? He said, don't talk to the sculptors.
I don't know if you ever try to talk to your wife while you're reading the morning newspaper. This is what it's like to be sculpting and answering your questions at the same time.
I still have some last touching.
Just want to finish this bottom edge.
Right, guys, all right. Good job.
Good job. Awesome work.
Yeah.
I could have done with more time on the plinth, straightening it up and stuff, but that's the important bit.
We're just talking about it, if you would have it in your garden. And he was like, I wouldn't have it in my garden. I said, I would. Like it. Like this stuff. Absolutely.
One day you'll get good. Until then, it's still struggling. I'm sorry.
Still need working hard.
There was an old couple, about 80 odd years old, wandering along, and the old guy turned around to his wife and said, honey, that was one of the best things I've ever seen. And it was just like, wow, really special.
They came here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Glad we're not judging, huh?
Great job, man. Great job.
Hello.
Radio Gowdy.
Yeah, I'd love to get back out there right now.
In doubles, we do not have an idea yet. We don't have a clear concept of what we're making. And we don't want to fumble around and be embarrassed. We don't want to embarrass ourselves. The field here is very strong. The sand is very good. The time is good. The money's good. I mean, everything's great. So this is a real chance for us to show off, basically, and do something nice.
When they call you and they say who's going to be in the contest, it's like, well, I'm going to need a doubles partner. Being a partner with Rusty, it's like a dream come true.
I hope Matt's got his collapse out of the system, because in doubles, we ain't playing that game. I hope not anyway. Oh my goodness. Matt, this looks great.
Hey, we're rocking it, man. We're almost home. Look at this. Look at this art. The castles are so popular that the public lots of times will call any sand art a sand castle, to the point where if it's a castle carved in the sand, they'll call it a sandcastle castle.
We were going to do something that related to our home again, which was George and the Dragon, and a very last minute decision was to change that and adapt the design to make the Jersey Devil.
A few people have pointed out that the horns aren't quite right and this and that.
Have they?
And yeah.
Okay. How do they know?
Well, exactly. That's why I said, well, have you seen it? He said, who's done the bulk of the work here?
You said?
He said, you've helped out a bit.
Can you tell us a little bit about your piece you guys are working on? I'm afraid that's classified information, sir.
We're getting a lot of good reaction. It's really popular with the younger kids. They seem to like it a lot.
We're just having fun carving together and making an exploding robot. So.
Last hour, sir. We have, I think, 3 hours more for the finishing.
There's no filming here, please.
A little girl walked by today after they went up and down the aisles. She's like, Daddy, Daddy, can we go make a sandcastle now? Can we? And I just said, that's it, we win. Made my day right there, job done.
It's dark.
It has to be read in 7 seconds. 7 seconds is the amount of time it takes a person to walk by a sand sculpture. And if they don't get it by then, they're walking on by.
Beautiful, guys. Wow. Damn.
I think my piece will actually do well. As far as spectators, I think they relate to emotional pieces, whether it be my sculpture or painting or any other media.
We don't put a lot of stock in the judges, though, because it's so subjective, and everybody here is on a level where it's all so good.
You want to win. Yeah, I think it's human nature.
Everybody knows how to win here. Everybody knows the feeling of winning. Everybody knows the feeling of losing.
We're going to start with a solo competition. And the People's Choice. This is something that the people have voted for about 2 weeks now. It was a runaway, believe it or not. I was close in the beginning, but Sudasan, India, save the trees, save your children, save the future from global warming. $1,000. Sudasan. Third place. $2,600 prize. California, Rusty Croft. Could I bring up the next two places, which is, in no particular order, Jonathan Bouchard, Joby again, and Pavel 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 up here. Okay, what we have standing here is first and second place in the solo division. Miss America, I think they announced the runner-up, and then it's kind of figured out that way. So, in second place in the solo division for $2,800, my friend from Russia, Pavel 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, in second place, the winner, Joby. $4,000 prize, Joby, $2,800 second place. Great job, guys. Okay, now we're down to first and second in this doubles category. I want to again call up the first and second place. Pavel 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 and 𝐒𝐮𝐩𝐸𝐵𝐵𝐿. And I'm going to call up Joby again and 𝐿𝐿𝐼𝐻 Beauregard again. Okay, again, Miss America style. We're going to announce second place, and obviously the person I don't announce is the first place winner. Second place, our friends from Russia, Pavel 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 and 𝐒𝐮𝐸𝐸𝐵𝐵𝐿. The winners of the McCord Cup for the doubles, Jonathan Bouchard and 𝐿𝐿𝐼𝐻 Beauregard. The McCord Cup, ladies and gentlemen.
Good job.
Wow. And in the solo, the team is really good like this. So, Joby, thanks a lot for answering my email about the partners thing, about, what, a week too late? You know,
yeah, I know.
It's okay.
Well, actually, I didn't want to team up with you because I wasn't confident at all. I preferred with 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, sorry, to say that in front of the camera.
I absolutely love my peers. I love everybody here. I love seeing what they do and their minds, how they think and what they create. You know, it's inspiring.
I feel relief. Feels good.
You know, you become an artist and you start noticing everything. You're always looking for an idea. You're looking at straws differently when you go to stores. You're looking at a pile of sand on the highway. It's like, wow.
If there is one thing very nice that sand teach you is about not being attached on things.
Enjoy each moment, I think.
Yeah,
is
it's about
what
the passing of time and the ticking of the clock, and yeah, it's kind of relates back to the stuff we're making it from is sand. Everything that returns to
the sands
dust.
of time.
Yeah, getting a bit deep there.
Every culture around the world makes art of some kind, whether it's music, painting, sculpture, body art. We decorate. We're human.
The birth of a sand sculpture is hard labor. While growing, its steps are both awkward and precise toward what it will be. And then, at last, it simply is. Each grain no longer a measure of the possible, but a requirement of the completion. When, during a contest like the World Cup, there are many sculptures, it might seem as though the ocean, bored with its monotonous whittling of the beach, has, in a gesture of cheerful benevolence, carved its most optimistic hopes and judgments in the sand. Presented to view are monuments to beauty, to life at the shore, and to life on and under the sea. But these monuments, as beautiful and compelling as they are, cannot last. The audience leaves, as does the artist, and grain by grain, the sculpture falls away or dissolves in a great splashing wave. Yet the sand remains, awaiting the return of the artist, the labor of renewal, to rise and fall again.